Hello, welcome to the Hard 90 Coaching Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Joe Hallead. I'd like to begin my very first episode on this thing by talking about my history and giving you a little bit of insight on who I am and what I've done over my career as a baseball and football coach. I will tell you this podcast has a lot to do with coaching, the sport in particular. I'll talk a lot about baseball and football because that's what I did, but it can go across all sports. For up and coming coaches that have been around for a while, you guys know just as well as I do that coaches are thieves. We steal stuff from other coaches. We put it into our program. And so I'll be taking a little bit of what I've learned over the last 23 years from other coaches and stuff I've developed on my own to share with you and go over some ideas and stuff about coaching. But it's also going to be a life coaching podcast where I've been an educator for 23 years in the public school system. I've taught ninth graders life skills, basically, how to become a positive human being in the real world as an adult. So I've got a lot of stuff. I developed my own curriculum over those 23 years that I taught those kids. And it's been a very positive situation. I've got a lot of feedback on it. So I'm going to also share some life stuff with you guys throughout the episodes as we go through this podcast. I really appreciate you guys. I'm not even sure how it's going to do. I'm just going to do my best. And this is my first time doing this. But I figure if I have 23 years of experience of coaching and teaching and 52 years of experience living, that I can share some cool ideas with you guys and sort of give you some insight on how I turned around two baseball programs from perennial losing programs into state championship contenders and even the state championship, which I'll get into later. I began my coaching career at Camas High School in Washington State. I was the JV coach the first year teaching there, and I was a seventh grade football coach the first year teaching there. And the second year, I became the head varsity baseball coach and an assistant varsity football coach. And I did that for 15 years in Camas. Had a great time. The school there was a soccer school, no more for their soccer than anything. Baseball program hadn't had a playoff appearance in 46 years. Hadn't had a winning season in 40 years. And it just wasn't, the program wasn't a contender at all. And so using stuff I got from other coaches and going to clinics and stuff like that, like all of us good coaches do, and reading books and getting inspirational stuff and trying to being a psychologist, reading psychology stuff and inspirational stuff. And it took us a couple years before we made the playoffs and had a winning record. But in my third season, we made it to the district loser out game, winner go to state, loser out. And we had a 14-9 record. And everybody in town thought that it was like a World Series win. But it was so fun because the kids bought in, they believed and stuff like that. So Camas was very good for me. I left Camas in 2014 to go down to Las Vegas, Nevada. And I got a job at Sierra Vista High School in 2014-15 school year. I was an assistant varsity coach there. And that next spring, I was offered a head job at Palo Verde High School up in Summerlin on the west end of the Vegas Valley. And I jumped on it. To be a head coach, I was a head coach for 15 years, and I was like, I'm ready to be a head coach again. It's tough taking the step down rather than taking the step up. I think it's tougher to be an assistant when you've been a head coach so long. But it was a positive experience. We went to the playoffs at Sierra Vista, and it was awesome. When I got my own team at Palo, they had perennial losing seasons, and it was only a 20-year-old high school. But they had very little success in the baseball program. And so it was another rebuild. And I took a lot of the stuff I did at Camas and incorporated it in Palo. And we ended up going to state in 2018 and winning the state tournament for the big schools. In 2018, we were number one. We finished 31-9. We defeated the two-time defending champions in the state championship game, and it was all mayhem. It was unbelievable. In our third year there, we won a state championship. So ended up winning over 300 games in my career. I think I was 306 wins or something like that with a state championship. We had a second place finish in Camas in state. We had a third place finish in Camas in state. I had a nationally ranked team in Camas in 2011 that was ranked in the top 25 in the country. We ended up losing the semifinals, state semifinal game to, I don't know, a lefty you might have heard of named Blake Snell. He's been a Cy Young winner multiple times in the major leagues. We lost him 2-1 in the semis and ended up winning the third place game. And down here at Palo, put together a lot of 21 seasons. They play 10 more regular season games in Nevada than they do in Washington, so a lot more baseball. But putting together a string of 21 seasons was awesome. COVID sort of hurt a little bit, like it did for all of us. But we just had to adapt and overcome through it because everybody's going through it, and it really probably took away 2 more state championships from us because of the talent that I had there in those years. But at least contenders, and tried to carry it on throughout after COVID. Well, unfortunately, during COVID, we're all sort of isolated, and I got sick. I got a mysterious illness in 2022, actually in the spring of 21. But I got a mysterious illness in spring of 22, sorry. And where I started having respiratory failure. And I'm a 23-year veteran teacher and coach, and I'm used to coaching football in the fall and baseball in the spring and teaching all year round and, grinding, do the grind. I did the grind for many years. And all of a sudden that was taken away from me. I couldn't teach anymore because I couldn't breathe when I walked. I was in the ICU 5-6 different times for 10-day stints, getting my breathing back under me and stuff, getting medicated. I had to be monitored. And my sick days ran out at school and they had to release me. And they also had to release me from my baseball and football coaching duties. So I found myself in my townhouse all by myself in the dark with no teaching, no coaching. I'm used to working 16-hour days, and all of a sudden I have nothing to do except sit here in my own depression because I just had everything that I was born to be on this earth to do taken away from me by this illness. I'm hooked up to an oxygen machine every day, and it was a 2-year period that it was brutal. It was really brutal. I lost my way. I sort of gave up a little bit of hope and put on about 150 pounds and just sort of wallowed around until finally my family came through and moved me up to Washington with them for almost half a year to get back on track. And I'm back. I'm not back breathing wise. I still have lung issues or breathing issues, but my brain's back and I'm fighting again. And this is one of the things I want to do. I want to give back to the coaching community. If I can't be out there in the field coaching, I want to give something to people that are coaches and also teachers and also life coaches that they can use in their everyday life to help make a student's life better or an athlete's life better or make your program better. So that's sort of about me. I'm an ex-military Ranger. I was in the Army in the early 90s before I started my teaching career. And I was in the 2nd of the 75th Ranger Regiment Battalion, 2nd of the 75th Regiment, 2nd Battalion up in Fort Lewis, Washington. And being an airborne Ranger changed my life. I turned from a boy into a man. Unfortunately, I was injured on a jump out of a C-130, and my parachute didn't open, and I broke my hip and my elbow and all kinds of stuff. I was put out on disability because I'm a disabled veteran is what I'm trying to say. So I had that going into my teaching career. I started teaching when I was 26. So I was a little bit of getting into the game late, but I wouldn't change it for the world. And that's who I am. I have a son who's 30 years old, who was drafted by the Philadelphia Phillies in 2016 and was in the minor league program until COVID hit, and he got cut from COVID. And now he has a family. He's married to a beautiful woman named Shonda. And my grandson, he's given me a great grandson, a 3-year-old grandson named Hayes, who's the pride and joy of my life. I'm teaching him how to hit right now. We just got done with a lesson this morning. So he's already striking the ball. He's catching footballs. He's shooting baskets. He's just active. I love it. But I'm just an everyday guy. But I have an itch to coach again. I want to beat this illness and get back on the field and make a difference in young men's life. And the camaraderie of your assistant coaches too. I mean, there's nothing like it. Being isolated here in this house with my oxygen machine all day, every day is brutal, to be honest with you. If you don't have the right mindset, it can really wear on you. So that's the reason I'm here. That's why I've started this channel. That's my why. Everybody asks, what's your why? You got to tell them what your why is if you want to start a podcast channel on coaching. My why is to give back, to make a difference from anywhere I can. If I can't be on the field, I can do this. And maybe just one of you coaches will hear something I say over the next several episodes I do. But a teacher might hear something. Maybe you're struggling with your class's behavior. And I'm going to talk a whole episode on class behavior. And not only class behavior, but also your players' behavior on the field, on the and off the field. So we're going to cover a lot of topics. I think you're going to find it interesting. I'm going to break down the daily. I'm going to try and do every other day right now. I'm going to learn how to edit, which I guess is a big deal. And so every episode after this will be edited. I may edit a little bit on this one, just try it out. But I want to get things online as often as I can so you guys can check it out and follow along with me and pass it along to other people. If you could go down there and hit subscribe and like this podcast, that would help me out a lot. It would allow me to do more creative things. But not only that, it'll also help my psyche, knowing that this is actually going out to somebody and somebody actually listens to things I'm saying or takes it in anyways. So I really appreciate if you like or subscribe to the page. Other than that, I'm planning on putting things within each episode as we get going, like something called Fair or Foul. And we'll discuss some hot topics of the day, whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing or whatever. We'll also do a thing called the bullpen, where I'll have some inspirational stuff for you that you can take to your team and use in your coaching. And whether it's an inspirational quote or inspirational story or something like that, I'm going to pass that along, and we'll do that throughout each episode. And then the on deck circle, you always know what's coming up the next episode, because at the end of every episode, I'll do the on deck circle, talk about what's going on in the next episode so you know what to look forward to. And the spotlight. Eventually on this channel, I want to spotlight coaches. And, with the power of email and the power of the internet, I'd like to get some coaches to write in or call in and give ideas too. So I can do like a spotlight of the day, like, hey, Coach Charlie from Centennial High School wrote in and says this is how he runs his run, stretch, and throw sessions at the beginning of every practice. And it's been very effective for him. So we'll sort of do stuff like that as well. My closing thoughts to you guys are very simple. Give it a shot. I mean, I'm just one guy here, a disabled veteran, out of work because of illness, living off of disability, trying to make a difference in the coaching realm and the teaching realm and the life coaching realm, and just trying to share the knowledge that I've gained over the last 23 years and really pass that, because I'll throw in some military anecdotes throughout this time too that I had when I was in the U.S. Army and as a 20-year-old and just a young kid, not worldly. So that's my thoughts, is what this channel is going to be about. I hope you find it interesting. I hope you look forward to it. I hope you interact with it. I'm not going to be going live, but I will check all the messages because my email address is on the channel. I will check all those emails and I'll respond to them during the next episode, or at least choose a couple of them to respond to. And I just want it to be sort of an interaction where you guys are taking knowledge in, just like you'd be going to a coaching clinic. And I'm not saying I'm the all-worldly knowing how to do things, but I do have a track record. I've taken 2 baseball programs in my career and turned them from last place into state contenders within 2 years, 3 years. So I do have a game plan for that, and I want to share that game plan with you. And I think it's important that we make a difference in kids' lives. So with that being said, that's going to wrap up episode 1. I'm really excited about it. I'm nervous about it because I'm not technological at all. I'd rather have my hands in the dirt and be out there blood, sweat, and tears with the boys and my athletes and my students. But unfortunately, that's just the cards I've been dealt, and we're going to make the most of it. So I appreciate you watching this episode. Again, the channel is Hard 90 Coach. And the meaning behind the Hard 90, by the way, I always had a saying when guys got hit by a pitch or guys hustled out a ground ball in the infield and forced a bad throw or beat out a ground ball, I called that a Hard 90. It's about hustle. And I think it's a perfect name for this podcast because we're going to be hustling. We're going to be talking about all kinds of things that just take effort and things that you can actually control in the game. I can't teach you how to hit a baseball squarely every single time. I can't teach you how to take the perfect route on every single fly ball. I can't teach you how to throw accurately from the outfield to your cutoff guy. I can't teach you how to come up and take on a block from a fullback from linebacker, a fullback coming. I can't teach you how to take on a block and shed him at the same time and stay in the hole to make a tackle. Okay, I can't teach you skills as far as like God gave our athletes a set of skills. I can enhance those, but I can also teach you how to do all the things that you have control over, which is like 70% of the game. The mental side, the physical side, the hustle side, the thinking side, everything, all that stuff. So that's where I'm at. That's what I want to teach. I want to give you the tools that you can take back to your program or take back to your classroom or take back to life when you're just basically life coaching people and utilize those in your teachings so it makes your job even more efficient. Okay? Again, if you'd subscribe and like down below for the page, and if you have any questions or comments or have any ideas what you want me to talk about, I've already got a list of things I want to talk about the first couple episodes, but I'll be willing to take your emails. It's hard90coach@gmail.com. And I look forward to reading those. And have a great day. I'll see you guys next time.